Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and I got my little jingly hat on that my daughter gave me, and I wanted to do a reading today. So I have my deck, and as you know, I hope you can see it. It is the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Hope you can see. There you go. And I just wanted to do a one card reading, and this is for us. So here we go. And this bright light is coming in from my window, and I'm loving it right now. It's very cold here in Wisconsin, but with the sun shining like it is, I am feeling very tropical. So with that said, I'm going to clear my deck. And I'm going to shuffle again and shuffle again. And then I'm going to play a card. Okay. There we go. And the card pulled is Security. The Four of Pentacles. Wow. And I hope you can see this card. There we go. Four of Pentacles. And this card, excuse me, I'm disorganized as usual. Let's see what the card says. Four of Pentacles, Security. Very deep, very deep, very deep, very deep, very deep. Four of Pentacles. Okay, let me read to you about the Arcana of Pentacles. Okay, the Pentacles are Earth, the physical realm, and the body. They represent the results of any deliberate effort, such as work, education, and possessions. Material concerns such as money, health, environment, land, business, or the marketplace are included in this arcana. Symbolically, the pentacle represents human form as a five-pointed star encircled by the earth. It is based on the concept that our material circumstances form as a culmination of a process which begins on the inner or thought-feeling worlds. What we think and feel will eventually be reflected as physical manifestations of that energy. This is a very different outlook from the Christian sins of the flesh view or the Oriental concept of getting beyond the physical plane, which is dismissed as Maya or illusion. It is significant that Maya happens to be one of the goddess's names. To pagans, physical form is seen as one of her miracles, the intricate wonder of our bodies, or the magnificence of nature. The traditional approach is to separate matter and spirit and set them at odds with each other, or to accept the existence of only one. The havoc wreaked upon our ecology is one outstanding example of this separation. This spiritual material axis has also been a point of contention between spiritual and political feminists, which will be easily resolved when the energy of spiritual circles and collectives is more widely understood. Matriarchal economics are based on the cycling and recycling of energy, as well as sharing the overflow, while capitalist economy is dependent upon competition, inequality, deprivation, and hoarding. Pentacles can reflect capitalistic or matriarchal realities. The psychic sense of the tarot reader and the seeker and signals from adjacent cards will help in determining which system is operating. Reading with Pentacles will help in understanding the forces at work in physical reality. We encourage using them for manifesting your wishes for material success. However, in doing so, our whole material system should be examined and viewed. So success is considered with a different paradigm, one which incorporates sharing with others. I just love that. Okay, there we go. Security. Here we go. 4 of Pentacles. And this is again from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, and it's by FFIONA Morgan. And here we go. This is the reading that she gives for the card that she designed, and then I'll give you what Spirit gives to me for this card. Okay, here we go. This card represents matter at its most stable and solid. From inferior beginnings in the realm of ideas and desires, energy has developed and grown until it is now firmly established. In life, we experience this in many forms: a secure job, land, money saved, or a project well on its way to completion. Your garden is planted, and the blooms are flourishing. The African women are portrayed holding their water jugs, a symbol of great security in a dry land. Security also indicates devoted self-nurturance. We cannot move forward without self-nurturance. We need to heal all that is. When we heal ourselves, we heal generational wounds. And so we must attend to those wounds. We can't just keep glossing them over. We have to address them. We have to heal them. We have to break free of them. We have to face the fear of them. We have to conquer them. They are mountains, and we have to move them from blocking our energy flows. Okay, let me move on. Security also indicates devoted self-nurturance, whereby daily rituals of caring for our body, which are our temples, such as disciplined exercise, the perpetration of good healthy food, and enough sleep, provide us with the security to thrive. And I want to say something for a moment, because people get into their judgments about, they project their feelings and thoughts on other people. What is good enough exercise for one may not be work up a sweat for another, but it is being in the state of doing and accomplishing that moves you forward to more and more. And that's the best way to start a training or regimen, is to start out with baby steps and work your way up. You don't start with a hard cardio if your body is not up to that. You work up to that. Just like you stretch your body before you go running or you exercise. You have to get yourself ready. You have to step into that state. You have to get your body in that state. Your mind, your soul, your spirit, all have to be occupying that state. And there has to be a clear intention in what you're doing it for. That way it becomes one. It becomes aligned. It becomes a part of you and not outside of you. Because what is outside of you is difficult. But what is inside of you is more easily attainable. It is able to be looked at and felt and examined on many different levels once you take it inside and you align it with things that are already there. So, with saying that, I'm going to move on to FFIONA's explanation of this card, the Four of Pentacles, security. If the card comes up reversed or tilted, the seeker could be attaching too much importance to material gain. As feminists, we support each woman receiving what she needs, but warn against holding on too tight or being miserly. There is truly enough for all, but when resources are clutched or guarded, they can become a burden. This imbalance creates a further situation where others are wanting. It can also mean lack of security because your usually secure existence is changing. Now, I want to just take a moment and for me, I'm going to look at this card very deeply. And I see four women in the forefront of the card, and they're all carrying these four jars. It is the Four of Pentacles. There are 5 houses in the background, and the 3 young children off to the side. One of the mothers is holding a child, and to me, let me show you the card again. There we go. Okay, I want you to be able to see it. Okay, there we go. I wanted you to see it too. These women have their lower halves covered, which for me means there is an abundance with the breasts. The 2 breasts showing means they are nourishers. They are very secure in who they are. And they are refilling their jugs with water. Their vases, jugs, water jugs with water at this sacred hole here. And they're taking turns and they're watching the other women do so. And there is a look of security on their faces. The look on each one of these women's faces is secure because she knows that she's getting water for her family. She's getting water for her children. She's not only going to be able to nourish herself, but her family, everyone is going to benefit from this water, from drinking it, from having it stored, and only getting as much as you need and coming back for more, instead of just saying, oh, well, you know, I'm tired of walking to this well. I want to make pipes go, make it easier, and you don't see how much you're getting or wasting with the pipes, you know. When you have a jug and you actually have to walk and pump and go get the water, there is a process that takes place where you actually appreciate the water. You appreciate it much more than it coming out of just the faucet for you anytime you turn it on. We take so much for granted. Our forebears didn't have the many conveniences that we have. They worked harder and they were tied more to the necessities and to earth and to spiritual realm because they needed to be. It was as much a part of them as breathing. It was natural. It was natural to honor that which fed you, clothed you, gave you shelter. It wasn't something outside of yourself. It was something akin to yourself. It was something that you respected. It was something you valued. It wasn't something that could be easily gotten, first of all, and it had to be shared. And with this, you received security. You knew that with this water, or whatever that substance is, if it was meat or if it was vegetables, you knew that your community would survive. You knew that first, foremost, you, then your family, then your community, then your neighborhood, then your country, then your nation, then your world, then your universe. It echoes out, it ripples outward, but it begins with ourselves. And so we have to keep ourselves focused and disciplined on security and the things that provide us security. And that varies from being to being. What may offer me security may not offer you security, be it physical, mental, or spiritual. You know, there are different realities and realms of need and awareness and awakeness, and each of those realms and reality has a security factor built into it. And when we missteps, or we fall down, or we get distracted or sidetracked, that level of security is then breached. And then we have to kind of reorganize, do reconnaissance, and trace our steps like a wolf does, and you know, come back to the center of beingness, to that groundedness, and focus in on obtaining and manifesting that security. And we do that with our intentions. We do it with our intentions to provide, with our intentions to serve ourselves so that we can serve others. It is an interdependent consciousness. It's not an independent consciousness. It's an awareness of the collective, that there is no mine. There's only ours. There is no me. There's only us and we. And the us and the we is only deepens based upon how aware, awake, and focused you are in your intentions and in what you're manifesting. Because it does affect me. You know, it does. And what I do affects you. And if you think it doesn't, then you're very disconnected from the times right now. Because these times that we're living in is very precious right now. A lot of the veils have been dropped. They're no longer in place. And those that are sensitive and are capable are picking up and absorbing so much, and we're changing internally, and those changes are showing externally, you know. And we're getting back to the matriarchal economics of abundance, of energy, of recognizing energy, being cognizant of it, and understanding that there is a recycling of energy that has to take place. There is a transformation of energy that has to take place. And this is going to sound kind of gross and graphic, but indigenous ones know the truth of it. A man does not have a cycle, does not have a monthly cycle where he bleeds and sheds his womb and lining and so forth. So it is not natural for him. He cannot perceive or conceive how a woman does this monthly. But we become aware. It teaches us a rhythm. It teaches us that what is fresh and fertile can be recycled, and also that if it is not used or usable, it is to be disposed, is to let flow out, to let go. You release it. You don't hold on to your menses. It flows from you. It awakens you to change. It awakens you on a deeper level to the rhythm of life, to what energy really is, because it is the hormonal essences that trigger the functioning of this release cycle. And that cycle is in place now spiritually. We are letting go of the old paradigm. We are letting go of the old ways. We are letting go of the old patterns. But in order to do that, we have to look at why and what they are in order to release them. Some of them are not wholly or totally ours. They were given to us genetically. They were passed on through generational cursing and blessings, so to speak. We received them as life lessons, and we process them based upon our own unique processing system. But we've entered a time, an age, a new age of energy awareness, of conscious awareness, of not just being aware and residing and being in that physical realm, that pentacle, that land of the pentacles, of the material. We are now very cognizant of the spiritual realm within the physical realm and the actual connection and merging of the two. And when you do that, you become empowered. You become able to manifest your realities. When hardship finds you, you know that to choose to suffer through this hardship is one way that it could be done. But to gather your strength and know that it will pass and that you're moving through this is another way in which to grow and to deal with your energy and the energy of the situation. A lot is getting ready to come into play, into focus, I should say. And that has to do with forces and powers and principalities that I don't want to use the word outside of our realm, but that are opposed to our realm, opposed to us knowing and accessing the full birthright of being a spiritual human being, of being a spirit inside this flesh. There's a lot getting ready to be uncovered by archaeologists and genealogists and science. This is a time of dying and rebirth. Understand that as each thing is taken away, something else will be given. And so you have to say, okay, I can give this up because I know something better is coming to me. So we can't be afraid to let go. You know, if your hands are always clenched, then you can't hold nothing. You can't receive anything. If somebody wants to put something in your hand and your hand is always closed up into this fist, then what are you going to receive? Nothing. But if you hold your hands and you cup them, you can receive water, you can hold it, you can drink, you can do whatever you need to do, but you have to be open. You have to be open in so many different areas of your being that you take on a coating, a protection, an armor that can't be so easily pierced. And that armor is spiritual knowledge. I'm trying not to get so much light, but it is what it is. So I don't want to ramble, and I know I will. So I don't want to do that. But I want to stay focused and on point with this, because it is coming from spirit. And as things get ready to change, we need to be very aware of our position and understand that we're taking. And we need to keep reaffirming who we are. We need to know and say who we are. And we need to give that definition, not one that's been passed down, not one that's been handed, not one that's been learned or automated or given to us by a society that does not love us, that enslaves us, that uses us to feed itself and discards us when we are no longer productive. We have to awaken to our higher selves. We have to realize the energy and the power that we do have as individuals, as spiritual beings. You know, we've come here. We have agreed to be here. And in doing that, we brought a mission with us. And our very existence speaks of our purpose. Our very existence speaks of our purpose. Now, I know you're going to say, what is she talking about? Our very existence has to do with our purpose, you know. What does that mean? Well, very simply, it means that as spiritual beings, we are here to evolve, to grow, And the physical body, we have to go through the physical body, the physical manifestation of integrating that physical with that spiritual. That is the purpose of our being. That is why we exist. To show that the two can coexist and that balance can be maintained by this bonding, by this pairing, by this intermingling of flesh and spirit. So many different stories and cosmologies and deities and stories have arisen from this simple truth. And the simple truth is we are who we are. And we are spiritual beings integrating physical reality, physical bodies, physical base senses, electromagnetic frequencies, polar opposites, we time zones and longitude and latitude and gravity and all of these many varied things. That's what we're here to experience. And we're giving the bodies that we are to experience them from. And our bodies have contained the genetic makeup of our source. And the more we understand and understand who we are as an individual, the more we understand what the purpose of mankind is, of humankind is, as caretakers of each other and of this planet. We begin to understand the symbiotic connection. We begin to understand the osmosis of the soul and the solar energies and the lunar energies and the seasons and changes. So there is so much to begin to see, but it starts with being able to look at yourself in the mirror and to know that your spiritual self resides in this fleshly form. And this fleshly form is what you have created. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have suffering, if you're fat, if you're skinny, if you're anorexic, our ways of thinking, our patterns conditioned our bodies to do this to themselves in order to keep us grounded and here and present, and hopefully to learn from it. That's what it's about. It's about learning, and it's also about looking around you and understanding that when someone is handicapped or having difficulties, it's a teaching. They came in at a higher level of, they signed on for more difficulty than what we did, because they have to integrate that same spirit-ness, spirit consciousness, into that physical form that is malformed or handicapped or has special needs, whatever the terminology, politically correct terminology is for that. It's all about integrating that spirit within that physical flesh. Okay, and with saying all of that, I want to say, seek your security. Seek your security. Not from the hands of men, but from your own grasp. From your own grasp, seek your security. Secure yourself. Secure your place, your position, your birthright, your knowledge. Find yourself. Look deeply. Look deeply. Listen. Go find a quiet place and listen to the inner voices. Allow yourself to speak to yourself. Allow yourself to hear what can't be spoken anywhere else. Allow yourself to examine what you are ashamed of, what you grieve for, what makes you angry, what makes you happy, what gives you a sense of purpose, what you love, And in doing that, we enrich ourselves and we offer ourselves a security that can never be taken from us. We offer and open a door that keeps us safe from anything, any feeling, any frequency, any energy that seeks to disrupt our connection, And when we're able to do that, when we're able to establish that connection, we have to nourish it. You can't just say, "Oh, I got it," and go about your business and think, no. You have to nourish that way of knowing, and you have to be around others of like knowing or of open spirit and non-judgmental mindsets and philosophies, because in these ways we are nourished. In these ways we are nourished, and we have been walking this planet in a suffering, starvation mode, and it's because we don't know ourselves, because we have been told that we're sinners and consumers, and that's what we live and die for, and all we can ever achieve is something called an American dream: a house, a car, 2 children, and a white picket fence, and all the little gadgets that your heart can think of, and vacation house in the Hamptons somewhere. We haven't been taught that the real treasure is inside. The real treasure of any human being is knowing who you are spiritually. That is a treasure, and when you get there, when you get that knowing, and we all lapse in and lapse out of it because it's not, we're not used to that. We're used to the dysfunction. So we lapse back into that dysfunction every now and then, and we have to say, wait a minute. And we have to reground ourselves and recycle that energy. Recycle it. Transform it. And if it's toxic and poisonous, We need to transmute it. And transmuting it requires a heat. It requires a passion. It requires you to be present. It requires you to fight. It requires you to allow your spiritual energy to rise up and consume that which is trying to put it out, which is trying to dampen it, which is trying to shove it down, to make it numb. Human beings are meant to feel. We have skin for that reason. We have taste buds for that reason. We have a sense of smell. We have eyes that can see color. We are meant to feel. We are meant to express those feelings. We're meant to share those feelings. But only the healthy ones. And the unhealthy ones, we need to heal within ourselves. And when we come across those unhealthy feelings in others, send them love, send them light, send them a hug. Even if you don't touch that person, a smile is good enough. Just your intention sometimes is all it takes. You know, just to be quiet and listen for a minute, to acknowledge someone else, to acknowledge their voice, that voice that is within that says, I'm feeling this way. You know, to validate, to confirm, and what you're validating and confirming is the oneness of our needs as a collective, physical group of beings. We need to validate each other. You know, we need to learn to do that instead of judging each other. When we judge each other, we detract from ourselves and each other, and it's subtracting. Subtracting is taking away. We want to add to each other. We want to complement each other. Don't want to compete. A healthy competition, I don't think one exists. Because in order to compete, you have to say, I have to be better than, or I have to do more, or there's not balance in that competition. You know, we need to find another word to engage that kind of energy with, instead of competition, because competition divides, conquers, and separates. And we want to be united. We want to be one. And when we do get to that place, you notice I didn't say if, I said when. When we arrive at that place, it is going to be so good. I look forward to it because it is. I see the little dust flying through the light. I'm sorry if I'm distracted, but it was like, ooh. Okay. Grounding myself again. Getting to know yourself is your first mission. You know how when you start a business, you need a mission statement and this and that? Well, knowing yourself is your mission statement. And that's how you begin to write it, is by knowing yourself. Because from learning and knowing yourself and being able to answer that question, who am I? You establish a stand. You take a stand. You don't say, I don't know, I'm a sheep, a cow, herd me whichever way you wish. Ba, moo. No, you're saying, I am. I be. And you know who you are. And you know who you're being. Because you're aware and you're awake while you're being it. Okay, I'm being told that that's enough now. And I just want to say thank you for watching and listening. And I am getting more comfortable in doing this. I really am. And I just want to say each time that I allow myself to go deeper and deeper within my feelings and my thoughts and my abilities, I'm reminded that we really are a collective of thoughts and feelings. We really, if we were to start seeing things the way they really are, there would be so much more focus and clarity. If we were able to understand that the microcosm and the macrocosm and the microcosm, we would understand the interconnectedness of everything. We would understand the interconnectedness of the galaxy, the universe, the planets, the earth, the sun, the trees, the seasons, everything, how it all, flows. And you see me playing with the energy and the light because I'm feeling it right now. And so it's when we know who we are and how connected we are, and that we are heirs, and that we are sovereign heirs, to a divine reality, and that it is only our thinking and our feelings that keep us in dysfunction. We can begin to unlearn, undo, to heal those feelings, to motivate ourselves away from that particular space or state of being in which, we are victimized, we are suffering, we are always at a loss, we're always struggling just to survive. There is no security in that. And security, I'm being told, is going to become such a big thing. It's going to be taking on a much more important role in our lives. We have locks and chains and gates and this and that, and we think it affords us security. But security comes from within, comes from a mind that is able to think. It comes, and that is aware and awake and not sleep. Comes from a sense of will, strong will, knowing that even if something comes along and knocks you down hard and rough, that you can get up, even if it's on your knees for a moment. And then you get up more and you get up more until you're standing. And this is the security, is knowing that you can stand and withstand anything that comes your way. That is the message of today's card. That is the message of today's reading. The card pulled was the Four of Pentacles, and it was pulled from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot deck by FFIONA Morgan. I read to you what she had to say about the card because she designed and created it. And then I gave you what Spirit had for me to give. So I have served us well today. And I just want to say namaste. I love you all. Be love and be blessed. And find your center. Plant your feet wide apart and take your stand. If it means healing yourself, do it. If it means nurturing yourself, do it. If you're unable, then find someone within your circle, your orbit, your realm, who can help you. Who can just hold your hand if that's all that they can do. Or who can nod their head at you and say, you can do it. You know? And there are many of us out here. There are many light workers, way showers, coaches, life coaches, rebirthers, rebirthing engineers. So many. Not one of us is perfect. Not one of us has all the answers. Not one of us don't stink, okay? So don't put your hopes and prayers and lifting someone else up so high that you think they can't fall, because then you begin to worship them. And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to release within us that which needs freedom, our spirit, you know, and the merging, the consciousness that needs releasing, that needs to be released from the prison of our own thoughts and ways and dysfunction. Okay, I'm done because I'm starting to repeat. So again, I just want to say I love you. You can find me on Facebook, Mother Wit Wisdom, MUTHA -WIT Wisdom, WISDOM. I'm also working on a website, www.universalwomb.com, and that's www.universalwomb.com. Womb, WOMB. I hope I'm pronouncing it clearly. Womb, universalwomb.com. And I'm offering services to basically just what I'm doing today, talking you through, talking to you, opening up dialogue, opening up questions, and helping you do the work that you need to do. And I wouldn't be able to help you if I hadn't gone through so much that I've gone through in my life and been able to recover and stand up straight again and take my stand once again, you know. So it's up to you what you do. It always is. You have the answer, you have the keys, you have the choice, you have the power. You can choose to empower yourself, or you can choose to depower yourself. Give your power away. and give your birthright away and let everybody else, a chosen few, benefit from your indecision or your ability to love yourself or to know yourself or to take a stand, your lack of indecision, your lack of abilities to make decisions. Okay. I could go on because I love talking, and I love talking. I love being a vessel and letting spirit come through me. I love this light right now because I'm connecting with it on so many different dimensions. I'll put it that way. It is what it is. So this was for your public consumption. So I leave it to you. And I ask that give me some feedback. Let me know if it's helpful to you. If you have questions, let me know. My email address is, I'm going to give you I know which one I'll give you. Okay. It's mutha.wit.wisdom@gmail.com. mother.wit.wisdom@gmail.com. So if you have questions, send them there, and I'll do my best to get back to you, and do my best to answer it on video if you like, or however you choose to interact. I'm opening myself up for interaction, so it is what it is. Namaste, beloveds. Be love and be blessed.